on The Fact Today, only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders pull into the world economy.
I belong to everybody.
Good morning and welcome to another amazing day on Atlantic Television Network. It's ATN Blowout again, a program where we get to talk about trending stories in Nigeria. This is a syndicated live program of the network that features chit-chatting and conversations on special interest topics, on news events, on stories, through correspondence, reports, experts' opinion, and stakeholders' analysis. We'll take a look at this story this morning from Niger Delta, where it states that federal government to Security Directorate for the region. And then from the National Assembly, where reps crisis, prices of imported foodstuff will be regulated from now on, says the federal government. And then on Livestock Ministry, sector can turn Nigeria's economy around. This was a statement by Mieti Allah. On telecommunications, telcos insist on tariff adjustment. We'll introduce into the stories after the break. Please do well to stay with us.
Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior no.
Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Hey, we'll go block later. You remember that contract where we do that time now?
They don't pay.
Hey! But first, you see the house rent with the old since. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I go pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy na.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg, they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure.
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation.
We have a public affairs analyst, a social commentator, a man who loves to talk for development, a man who would like to see positive changes happen in Nigeria, and that's why I keep pleasure having you on ATN Blowout.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eni. You look always, as always, you look good. We planned it. But
It's going to be an amazing show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Okay, let's look at the very first story now. Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, has announced ongoing plans to establish a dedicated directorate within the Office of the National Security Advisor on Niger Delta security. Now, he made this known in his key. Now, he emphasized that the new directorate would allow the federal government to address the unique security challenges of the Niger Delta in a more structured and professional manner. Now, these are his thoughts concerning this. In his words, and I quote, "We are currently working closely with the governors of the region and the presidency in making this a reality. When fully implemented, we anticipate that the president will likely present policy guidance that would definitely or that would define his security management posture for sustainable Niger Delta development," he said. That's on Niger Delta now, federal government to establish security directorate for the region. Do you see this in any way curbing the security issues we have in the Niger Delta?
Well, thank you very much, Eni. For me, I see it as still doing things the old way. We have already...
as regarding security?
Of course, every part of Nigeria requires quality, security. It is the primary responsibility of government to provide security for all and sundry, regardless of what part of the country that you come from. So when you are talking about setting Niger Delta, what they need is job opportunities. What the people of the Niger Delta, what they need is a clean environment. What the people in the Niger Delta, what they need is a government presence, so that the people can feel the direct impact of government. But when you keep talking about providing, it just gives the impression that the Niger Delta is a war zone, and every now and then we'll talk about security. What about the welfare of the people? What about giving the people quality life? So for me, I think this is another ploy.
The cleanup.
That's what I'm saying. That was why I talked about the environment. Very, very important. So what measures have been put in place?
Do you think that they're doing enough
No,
to cover the issues?
if they're not doing enough, so why do we have them in place? For you do not keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect to get a different result.
So go on.
Why do we still have? Why do we keep still having this issue of people going to vandalize pipelines? Why do we still keep having people going to block the waterways? Why do we still keep having people engaging in illegal refinery activities? By so doing, constituting economic sabotage to the country. Why do you keep having this thing? Now, the answer to your question gives us or the government the impression and confidence that if you're not going to bring another special or unique, like they say now, that is still making us not to be able to address these issues once and for all.
Since the government feels that the insecurity or the case of security in Niger Delta is a unique one, and then we have all of these parastatals on ground already to solve the security issues that we have in this region, then what do you think can be done concerning...
If you're giving somebody a responsibility, it is only proper for you to ensure that the person gets all that is needed to do the job. One, secondly, the government also needs to look into the problems that the people of the Niger Delta are facing. Now, if the people don't, if they are not meaningfully engaged, by ways of providing job opportunities for them, now what that implies is that you are giving them an alternative to crime, and if you have two options between having a good life with that the government is and all of that, it becomes very difficult for somebody to now come in to try to cajole you into going into something that is illegal. We're in this country where the governor of Rivers State at the point in time has even accused the Nigerian army of getting even involved in this whole illegal bunkering activities and all of that. We've been in this country where the governors and leaders of communities, the civil defense, of also being involved in this so-called sharp practices. Now my point is,
if the case is these people being involved, then who?
They need to study the root cause. Apart from the fact that you must monitor the activities of this so-called security personnel that we have already on ground. Now, what are the root causes?
There's always a root cause for every crime that is committed.
There's a root cause. If you have strong will, laden with sincerity of purpose and intention, there is no problem that is too big for any determined government to solve. Why are people going into these criminal activities? Perhaps because they don't have any other option. When you live in a community where you see government coming to exploit and explore continuously on a daily basis, and the people are living in gross underdevelopment. People are living in an environment that is unbecoming of a human being to live in. People don't have clean water. People don't have schools. People don't have good road access and all of that. So what does that portend? It gives room for all manner of illegal activities to thrive. So for me, rather than doing the same thing, like I said, doing the same over and over, we have Navy, we have everything, Tita, we have, but that was the same thing they said before they designated the civil defense as one of their core mandates is to address the issue of illegal in terms of regarding the pipeline and all of that. That was why they introduced special task force
should have. Because I checked the time that I sent you another story, when I called you for the stories I sent you.
Look at you. Are you sure you are not from?
Why do you do that now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask, oh?
Because this road where they see, so it no guarantee safe delivery. We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so no dey. Light outside. The infrastructure it can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, quell everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
We apologize for that break. We are actually back to continue the conversation. Thank you so much for staying with us on ATN. We're still on the story where we're talking about the Niger Delta and security. And then I mentioned before we went on that break, I had to ask Mufasa about the IPOB now. You know, when we talked about insecurity in the Niger Delta, Mufasa has laid a lot of emphasis on bunkering and illegal refineries and all of that. But what about the IPOB attacks that we have been hearing there and here and there concerning, yes, the IPOB? So
I will have to repeat myself. I have deposited that when you talk about providing a special kind of security for a certain region, you know, perhaps for, you know, reasons best known to the government, it is, for me, it is completely out of place. I think every part of this country requires and deserves all the security that they can get. Like you just mentioned, the IPOB activities in some states in the southeast that is part of the Niger Delta, you know, like Abia State and Imo State. The government also need to critically estray the causes of some of these agitations, because for me, criminality is criminality. I don't see any kind of criminality as special or less special. You know, when you have criminals,
the Niger Delta should be paid close attention
like,
because of how much the country makes from this particular region.
Good.
So that's probably what they were trying to emphasize.
Now, assuming they are paying close and special attention to the Niger Delta, and we have serious crisis going on in the north, do you think that alone would even make investment to come into this country and invest in the booming oil sector? Because if there is insecurity in any part of this country, it means no part of the country is safe. So that is why I said that let us try to make all part of this country safe and secured. And that goes to show.
House Committee on Affairs led the interrogation of the minister over the non-payment of 1.5 billion naira to contractors in spite of the fund release in Abuja. She said that the investigative hearing was aimed at uncovering the truth and not witch-hunting the minister and the officials of that particular ministry. The committee also investigated the alleged diversion of funds that were meant for contractors' payments following a petition from the contractors. Now, the committee also sought clarification on funds appropriated for the African First Ladies Mission and the whereabouts of the 1.5 billion naira that was meant for contractor payments. But however, the minister denied the allegations of misappropriation, overspending and non-payment to contractors. In a very long explanation, she actually did that. The procurement officer confirmed contractors' claims, and the Director of Finance and Administration acknowledged only paying approved contracts. It would be recalled that the committee had, at its last sitting, summoned the minister to appear before it to explain the rationale behind the non-payment. And the committee also ordered the stoppage of all 2024 contract processes by the Ministry of Women Affairs until the monies and the whereabouts of these monies that have been stated are determined and well explained. If you listen to the explanation, it was just a back and forth argument that was actually going on during that particular sitting, and it is very pathetic. Look at all of the amounts that have been mentioned. 40 million naira. Can I go back to that story, please? She talked about the money spent on party, talked about the money spent on sanitary pads, talked about the money spent on contractors for a particular project, and yet the contractors said they were not paid. Let me get your thoughts on this story, Mufasa.
Well, it's really quite pathetic and unfortunate, especially in this era where people are finding it very difficult to fend for themselves. I must say that the women folks are they're on top of their game. Didn't expend those money for what has been alleged that. But you have also failed to explain where the money went to. Exactly. As a public officer, you should know that there are times when you'll be called to account for the assignments given to you. You know, it is an account of stewardship. They are not running.
That's not too secondary. It's primary. You know that when you're taking up the job, that this is it. This is yes.
That is why I say that is why with the way the even ground stands, it's nauseating that you are being called upon to account. Yes. I'm not saying that these processes, is usually followed to its logical conclusion. We've seen countless number of this kind of probe, but most times you need to even see the audacity, the boldness, the temerity being displayed by these people, even when they know. But they've been caught in a very difficult situation, caught in the web, that you could not account for money running over billions of taxpayers' money. Yes, and you come out with boldness to say that, in fact, they are even asking you too much of questions.
He said it's not in our
so that goes to show how disrespectful, how insensitive these people are to the vast majority of Nigerians. That you could even phantom that somebody or a group of persons will spend 45 million for New Year party. I don't know who and who were invited to that party. I don't know what and what was used to organize that party. And I still do not understand how that party would have a direct impact on Nigerians. Public funds is not meant for you to enjoy yourselves. But obviously, and unfortunately, what we see being exhibited in this country is a complete far cry. And they do it and rub it on the face of Nigerians with impunity. Now you are being called to account for this huge amount of money in a country where we borrow money from the savings of pensioners.
There's supposed to be an account for every money that comes in and every money that goes out, what the monies are used for and what the monies are not used for. Because saying that the monies were paid to the contractors and the contractors are saying it wasn't paid to them, and then there's even a confirmation that the monies were not paid to the contractors, and it's a back and forth explanation. You should really go through. I wish I had a clip of her explanation so that you get to hear the back and forth, going back on the words, saying you didn't say what you said and all of that.
The thing is that there was no valid explanation. I think I saw some of the extracts and all of that. There was no valid explanation. Only that the minister was only trying to, exonerate herself from the amount of money to the office of the First Lady. This country is a huge crime scene. Sorry to use that word, but from what we are seeing and the activities of people in government, it is a shame. It is sad, it is pathetic and unfortunate.
Mufasa, you made mention of the fact, I'll call it a fact, because we have seen a lot of cases like that. So we have records that a lot of these cases we don't get to hear the end of it. Sometimes we don't just hear it anymore, like we don't just see it in the media anymore. It just dies off. Just like disappeared,
yeah.
And then some other, you ask questions like, in the previous office that this person, look at what happened with the NDDC the other time, when there was actually a probe on the
forensic audit. Do you
and all understand?
Of that.
And Nigerians were actually expecting, the probe was so much.
People being punished.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Because the essence of spending so much money on the probe panel, you see this what they do in a probe panel, they spend money, they pay them for all these sessions. When you get external auditors to come and audit, the accounts of government ministry and departments, government ministry and departments, agencies, you pay them huge amount of money. Most times, some of these foreign auditors, you pay them in foreign currency. And sadly enough, we don't see these things being followed through to its logical conclusion. What does that tell you? What they are just doing is just to, create that impression that they are doing something, whereas they are doing nothing. And not until Nigerians purge ourselves from all these rhetorics of is because it's from the south, because it's from the west, because it's from the north, because she's a woman, because he's a Christian, because he's a Muslim. That is why let us see people for who they are. If you are doing something that is bad, let it be condemned by all and sundry. This is government business. And government business is being run by the monies of taxpayers, you and I. Nobody should see it as their own private business, a private estate that people should not start spending 45 million naira for party. Were you invited to the party? Was I invited to the party?
Would that have been okay if you were invited?
Of course, they should invite everybody. It's not our money. That I use my money to throw party. You didn't invite me. Is that not a slap on my face? What qualifies anybody to attend that party if I'm not there? Since they want to be using
happening less than 1%, that's what this is actually contributing to our GDP. Mufasa, your thoughts?
It's still same old stories. I think we have in this country. Nigeria as a country is usually blessed with solid minerals that most countries of the world today are using to develop their country. And they are doing very, very well. The Navy and the government, I do not know how sincere that they are with this whole, new vigor that they are putting. Told severally that people are mining gold in some parts of the north, even some parts of the west. We have been told that people are mining coal in some part of this country. And we are also now being informed that in spite of all this, the contribution of solid mineral is less than 1%. What does that tell you as a Nigerian? It tells me that this country is being run by people who don't have the interest of Nigerians at heart. We believe that oil is the only thing that can, advance the fortune of this country.
That's a big question.
But
Why?
when we
look at some of these solid minerals, like you've said, the potential is quite, and this is something that a lot of us
in this business are not captured in the revenue
generation,
in the scheme of things of government. It means that they are not paying taxes. It means that whatever that they are making from that business goes into the pocket of private individuals. I am aware that some traditional rulers in the north are so powerful to the extent that they grant mining licenses to foreign investors. Yeah, it was on the news actually that traditional rulers are giving licenses to people to mine gold and other solid minerals. That even governors are doing the businesses without doing what is required by law. Banditry banditry has taken a huge toll in those regions. But then again, what most Nigerians are asking is, why is the Nigerian state over the years, because it didn't start from this administration, successive administration has looked the other way when it comes to monitoring and paying so much attention to the activities of illegal mining in the north and some part of this country.
You talked about talks, saying talks being out there about government officials being involved in the illegal practices going on there. We've also had talks about government officials being involved in the illegal practices also going on in the
we just vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Roads so no day, light outside, the infrastructure it can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the people.
Corruption, quell everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Madam, sorry, please don't call.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
That the federal government has said that food items to be imported into the country in the next 150 days will be subjected to recommended retail price to bring down Nigeria. And this actually came on the day that the lawmakers were representing Borno South Senatorial District Center. And okay, that's the lawmaker now representing Borno. The country was further worsened by the fact that the president, Bola Tinubu, was not accessible to be advised by lawmakers and even the cabinet ministers. Recall that the government a few days ago suspended import duties and taxes on food items such as rice, wheat, and some others. And the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kari, who disclosed this on his X handle yesterday, or actually said, having suspended duties on taxes on food items, the federal government will take a step further to subject items to be imported to what he described as the recommended retail price on food items that are imported.
Oh, well, if it's going to bring down the cost of basic food items, I think it's going to be a welcome development and a step in the right direction, because already people can't even afford basic food items. In as much as I really do not fancy the fact that we had to revenue from it, but
we actually export.
What we export, the only thing we export is crude oil. But that's
we
the fact.
export, no, that's not true.
What
you actually know that we export some of our food products.
Like what and what?
We actually export some
like,
of our food.
Like what?
You cannot say that the only thing we export
the only thing we export. I stand on a good authority to tell you that. But if you are telling me it's not the fact, a nation and generate revenue from it is those who are when you package of palm oil and send to your I think we're in a very that is indicting that they can't even assess the president to advise him on possible ways to take us out of this quagmire that we are. That it is by now, if we operate a system that should be referred to as saner, that the government, they have reached their wit ends when it comes to providing security for farmers. So we are now banking on relying on food. What does that tell you and I and the vast majority of Nigerians of the kind of leadership we have running this country?
We cannot completely stop importation of food now.
The same country that you just told Nigerians that we are exporting palm oil.
The same country that it is obvious exporting a lot of palm oil. It was good in the news that they told us, okay, since we ban you bringing in your okay. Now bring in your beans, and then we're running helter-skelter to make sure that the beans is clean for export. We actually export other things.
Thank you for informing. Thank you for informing me, because as I speak with you, not until this moment.
Insecurity in our farms. Then we have food here.
It has not been set up yet. So also is the Ministry of the Livestock that has been proposed. I am saying that it is not necessary because it will amount to multiplicity of government agencies and departments. Already we have the Ministry of Agriculture, and in that ministry we have various directorates. The directorate of livestock can be further strengthened and given the full